Okay, so my problem, we needed to sketch the graph of this piecewise function, and we also needed to find the domain and range. In order to do so, we need to find out where the graph would start and end for each part of the equation of the piecewise function. So, for the first part of the piecewise function, it says the absolute value of x is less than or equal to 4. And that means that it's not going to have a start, because it's less than or equal to 4, and it's just any number less than or equal to 4, so it doesn't have a start. And that means, so for the second part where it says the square root of x, where x is greater than 4, that means it doesn't have an end because it's any number greater than 4. But the first equation does have an end, and that's going to be whatever the... You have to put the 4, because that's where it ends, and it gives you that, and this part right here into the equation. So it's going to be the absolute value of 4 equals 4. So it ends at 4, 4. And the second part of the piecewise function is going to start wherever the square root of 4 is. The square root of 4 equals 2. So it's going to start at 4, 2. And now, to graph this, we go over here to this empty graph, and we're going to graph the first part of the function by plotting where it ends. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. And it's going to be a closed circle because it is included, because it's less than or equal to 4 right here, shown with this little with this little line. And then the parent function of the square root of x looks something like this. So we're going to draw the rest of that graph without this part right here. So it's going to look like that, and then it's going to look like that. So it looks like that. And then we're going to draw the second part of the graph. And the second part of the graph does not have an end, but it does have a start, so we can graph that. And it's going to be started at 4, 2, so it's going to be 4, 2, and it's going to have an open circle because it's not included because there's not a line under it like this one did. And then the parent graph for the square root of x looks like this. So we're going to draw the rest of the graph, but starting at where the circle is. And that's going to look like this, something like that. So this is our graph. And now we also were asked to find the domain and range. So to find the domain, well, first of all, what the domain means is that whatever x's can be used in the equation. And to me, it looks like all the x's can be used because this has an arrow that goes all the way that way, and this has an arrow that goes all the way that way. Even though this is an open circle, this is a closed circle, which includes the 4. So it's going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. And we're going to use open brackets because it's kind of a concept rather than a number, and you can't really include infinity because it's not a real number. It's just kind of like saying all real numbers. So it's going to be negative infinity to positive infinity, and the range is all the y numbers. To me, it looks like all the y numbers are used from the origin, which is 0, so starting at 0, all the way up, because this arrow shows it goes all the way up, and any number can be used, whatever you can think of. So the range is going to be 0, and we're going to use a closed bracket because it does include 0. So anywhere from 0 to infinity is what this equation's range is going to be. This is the domain, and this is the range, and this is the graph, and this is the equation, and then this is the full thing if you want to take a look at it one more time.